What's up, you beautiful, blessed boys and girls? This is Tyler Tote. I will never forget this one short story that this early mentor told me one day when I was complaining to him that I felt stuck in my 30s and I just, my best days were behind me and wish I could just start over. I wanted a new life and this or that. I didn't love my job. All these things just seemed to be sliding in the wrong direction. He sent me this short story, a couple minutes long. It radically changed the way I viewed everything. It radically started to change my thought process, my life, and everything. I want to share that cheat code with you today, so let's dive in. So the story starts out very relatable for me. He tells me, "Hey man, there's this guy, in his 30s, 40s, whatever it might be, and his family goes to bed, and this guy's just sort of lost, man. He's working a dead end job he doesn't really love. In his teens and early 20s, he had this vision in his head of the sports cars and this kind of awesome life, and it just didn't seem to pan out. He was sort of in a roommate marriage, a dead end job he didn't really love. Hadn't been able to accumulate much wealth. He just felt stuck." And so his family goes to bed. He's pretty depressed, and he just goes for a drive. And this guy's not overly spiritual or overly religious or whatever you want to say, but he just begs out, sort of in desperation, "God, I just want a new life. Just give me a new life." And wouldn't you know it, miraculously enough, as he does sometimes, God appeared right in front of him. And he said, "Hey, man, I'm willing to strike a deal with you. Do you want to make a deal? I'll give you a new life, but it's going to cost you. Can't do this for free, right?" And the guy is, obviously surprised, perks right up, and he says, "All right, let's negotiate. What do you want? I want a new life. Let's do it." God says, "Well, what do you got in your pocket, man? How much you got?" Guy says, "I have about 50 bucks. God says, "All right, I want that $50 and I'll grant you a new life." So the guy's like starting to say yes, but then he thinks about it and he's like, hey, God, like, look, man, if you take all of my money here, this 50 bucks is all I got. Like my gas tank's on E. I can't even fill my car up tomorrow. And God goes, "Huh, so you got a car?" "Yeah, bro, this is your car that we're in." "Okay, well, you know what, man? I want that too. Now the deal's gotten better for me. I'm God. I can do what I want. I want the 50 bucks and I want the car." And the guy, just out of reaction, says, "God, you can't take my car because if you take my car, I can't get to work tomorrow. I can't earn any money. I'm stuck then. I'm done. So you cannot take my car." God says, "You got a job? Man, okay, I see that you got this place that you earn money and you go to every day. I want that too. You no longer get that. That's mine. I want the money. I want the car. I want the job." The guy is freaking out now. He says, "This is a tough deal, man, because, hey, God, I gotta go to that job or I'm gonna lose my house. That's how I pay the mortgage. That's how I pay the bills. I can't have this." God says, "You got a house, huh? Homeowner. All right, brother. I want that too. I want the house. I want that. All these things. I want the house on top of that." Now the guy's freaking out. He's starting to panic and he says something like, "God, if you take my house, I don't know where my wife and my kids will live. They'll be homeless. I can't give you this." And God says, "You got a wife and kids, huh? I want them too. I'm taking all that. I want the wife and kids. I want your family. I want the house. I want the car, the job. I want your money, all this." Now, this time the guy just realizes, man, I got to stop talking. Every time I say something, God, I can't out negotiate God here, it seems. Can't reason with them. So he just says, okay. Just kind of nods. "I'll do anything for a new life. I guess it is what it is. You can take all those things. I guess you transport me, teleport me, whatever you're going to do. I just want a new life." And so God looks at him right in the eyes and he says, "Look, man, tomorrow when you wake up, you're going to have money, but it's not your money anymore. It's mine. So only go spend it on things that I would spend it on and give it to help those in need like I would use it. And tomorrow, when you get in your car, it's not your car anymore. It's mine. So you do not drive it to places that dishonor me. You only take that to places I would want you to go. And when you go to that job is not yours. It is now mine. You do not walk in there with that kind of negative attitude, complaining and whining. It's my job. You represent me in there. You do as I would do. With your family, same thing. You do not walk in your house and tear them down and grumble, complain, yell at them, whine at them. You treat them how I would treat them. They are mine, not yours. You kind of see where this is going, right? So God looks at him and says, "That's your new life." And man, something I must have watched this vid. It's like a 2 minute clip that this early guy sent me, man, a really great mentor from back in Springfield. And I remember I must have watched this 50 times. And to be honest, at that time, I remember I was like 35 years old. And I did. I complained a lot. I worked a job I didn't necessarily love. It was at a bank, and man, I'd show up and I'd join in the complaining. I hate this client. I hate yeah, this or that. And I remember just writing down that night, I'm gonna change things, man. I'm gonna go into that office, and I'm just gonna say, and I did this for years after this. The next 2 or 3 years, while I was still employed by a bank, I'd pull in the parking lot early and I'd say the same prayer over and over. Hey, God, I don't work for this bank today. I work for you. Help me to represent you. Whoever you bring across my path, help me to be a minister, be a light, to lead everybody around me and just represent you at this job. Nothing changed in my job. I still had difficult clients, difficult bosses, difficult whatever, you name it. But man, it changed the whole perspective. I had a new job. Funny thing is, I started getting promoted more and more when I moved to Vegas here with that kind of mindset and attitude as well. Turns out people like being around happy, positive, uplifting people, and that does some good things for your career too. But it just changed everything. It changed my home. Man, I woke up every day and instead of thinking like how my wife drags me down and doesn't want me to have any fun and this or that, how can I serve her? How can I be the hands and feet for her and just pour life into her every day? Turns out, man, when you start doing that and you approach your marriage in that way, women have this just absolutely amazing gift. She 10x's all that energy back to me and just dumps into me all day, encouraging, building me up. Anything I've done over the last 5, 6 years, man, it's laughable to think I could do 1/100th of it without my wife. He gave me a new marriage. He gave me a new eyes for my family. He did it with money, the same thing. Back then, man, this is embarrassing to admit. I made 7 figures in my 20s playing poker. I lost 90% of it, just couldn't keep it. I obsessed over money, never had it. Even when I was working at the bank in those first 4 or 5 years, I mean, my wife would approach me, poor wife, poor Annie, and say, yeah, there's this like charitable thing I really want to give to. Can we give a little bit? And often she was met with like, I worked so hard for I don't want to work at this bank forever. And I started viewing money in a different way at this time. This isn't mine. I'm a steward of it. How would God use this money? Can we help? Can we give? Can we be a little more, saving and investing and helping others instead of just instant gratification and wanting to look like we had wealth instead of actually having wealth? Changed my whole mindset in life around money. And so you kind of see where I'm going with this and how impactful this was for me. And if maybe you're in a spot today where it's, dude, everything's a drag, you wake up going to a job I don't necessarily love, or my finances aren't something I necessarily love, or my relationships, or my body, whatever that thing is, I just urge you to take a pause and to reflect on this story a little bit and say, you know what, maybe I just need a new mindset shift and I need to start saying, these things aren't really mine. How do I use them and see them through God's eyes? Changed everything for me, my whole life. And look, I'm not one of these prosperity gospel guys. If you donate to this, you're gonna get rid of your cancer or whatever. I don't subscribe to all of this stuff. But I am gonna tell you, math doesn't math when you work for the Lord. It just doesn't. And He blesses you in other ways that you cannot even imagine. I've witnessed this. I've seen everybody in my life around me. So many people witness the same thing. When you just give it all away and say, man, God, it's your life, it's not mine. There's something really powerful that just happens to your mind, to your spirit, to your joy, to your peace, to all these things. And so, feel trapped today. Listen to that story back a couple times, man. Take a couple notes on how you're going to change things. Maybe it's saying a prayer before you go into the office. Maybe it's getting up a little earlier at home so that your kids don't stress you out right away, but you've read the Bible, you've done some devotions, you've done some breath work so that you can be a better version for your family by the time they get up. Whatever those things are, I just urge you to take the next steps. We're only here once. Life goes pretty fast. Let's go get it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have the greatest day of your life.